We all know the music industry has been significantly affected by COVID-19, with major music festivals, live shows, and tours all over the world postponed and even canceled. Not only have major tours and music festivals been affected, but streaming apps, CDs, and vinyl sales have experienced an impact as well. The impact was definitely felt throughout Colorado and the Denver metro area. The industry is driven by individuals, businesses, and venues that promote, host, and produce live events. These activities are now restricted under the necessary safety actions taken by authorities at state and local levels. To better understand how the COVID-19 crisis has affected the music industry in Colorado and the Denver metro area, we decided to reach out to local musicians, producers, and sound engineers to get their thoughts on the growing pandemic and ask how they are coping with these changes.
Yeah, my name is Steven Edwards. People call me Esky. I've been in Colorado for 14 years now and been doing music professionally for the last 10. I would say it really started when I was about 11 years old and my mom bought me a bass guitar, which I actually have somewhere around here. It's my first bass guitar, Sherwood Green Fender Squire PJ bass, and I thought it was Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. Really took a more serious direction after attending the Conservatory of Recording Arts and Sciences in Phoenix, Arizona. You know, I was on tour with the Floozies and Sun Squabby up until March 13th, I think, was when I was on a flight to New York City, and they shut down the NBA and everything and sent us home. And since then, I've had nowhere near the same amount of gigs, but also it's been very transitional and putting me back more into the studio. So I've definitely continued to have gigs. I would say not as much, and also, you know, the focus has shifted a little bit. Well, I think the first or second week we were sent home off a tour, we went into a club out here, New Conscious, and just filmed like 8 sets or something of music, and then we went on like full lockdown. We figured that was about to happen, so we just like got in there and just recorded as much content as we could, like video, audio, the whole nine. Had a whole like light production. No one was there obviously, but like our whole crew, we've done a really good job about being proactive with this and trying to make sure that we're going to come out on the other side on top, doing whatever we can. You know, it's kind of unprecedented time, so we're just a lot of experiment, but you know, I think we've been doing a pretty good job of just keeping forward momentum even through the super trying time. So let's talk about Spirit Bear. That's probably the biggest upside of the whole pandemic thing, is that I've had some time to put the creative process in the forefront. And as a result of that, and as a result of not working in as public of situations, I've found myself doing a lot of the production, a lot of the parts. It's a lot of fun. So that's been really cool. I got to just go film a video for that. Have like a whole LP basically done, so that's all gonna be going live. I'm at Esky_Whan, WHAN. That's where you can find me on Insta. That's kind of the main spot. I'm plugging some stuff right now. You know, we got Spirit Bear going live, we got Sun Squabby, I'm still playing with AMAC and The Height, so check all that stuff out. We all got new stuff coming along, so really excited to be dropping all that.
I'm Jake Setters. Getting into music was definitely a thing that started out like early on, especially like before middle school. I remember watching my buddies Jeremy and Alex playing Green Day songs together, and my buddy Jeremy was shredding the drums, and I was like, man, I want to do that. And just watching them play like some of my favorite little, you know, throw together tunes of, you know, some classic punk rock songs, I was like, dang, that really makes me want to get into this, and kind of started diving in from there. And before I knew it, I was hopping into anything I could, into high school, and then from college from there. Ain't stopped since. Yeah, the gigging's definitely been different. I definitely have, you know, was expecting to do like close to 100 shows this year. I was like ready to quit my job, and then COVID hit, and now it's definitely been probably only about under a dozen, I'd say, maybe even less. It's been nice to try and use social media as a platform. I've been able to, do like videos via Instagram or Facebook. Luckily, I have a nice unit from Yamaha called the EAD-10, and that's a powerful little microphone with a drum trigger on it, and I can connect it to my phone and allow that to produce audio from either a track with no drums or even a track with drums, and adjust the audio from there and use that to very simply upload videos quickly so I can share what I've been doing and what I've been practicing. It's been really fun. Yeah, I've been lucky that, since COVID hit, I've definitely had about almost half a dozen people hit me up to do studio work. So some of the coolest stuff I've gotten to work on as of recent would be the Spirit Bear project. You can find my Instagram at setters.jm, setters, for Jake Setters. And you can also check out the AMAC and the Hype page. It's the main band I've been playing with right now. And you can also stay tuned for more Spirit Bear.
So my initial start happened with my dad. He was a hip hop DJ. He worked with a lot of really big names like DMX, Ja Rule, Mystical. And I remember he would bring me posters of signed autographs by these guys. And, I'd show it off to my friends and they thought it was really cool. And that was the initial inspiration. And he was very eclectic musically. So he taught me a lot, from Motown to rock to gospel to hip hop. And then from there, it kind of transferred over to church, where I started playing in the church. And I was my church's choir director at the age of 14. And, so imagine, a 14-year-old boy leading a whole bunch of adults, doing the thing. That's where rap and everything else kind of translated. And, the whole knowledge and expansion of knowledge and, just kind of wearing multiple hats just came from the need to create and be cost effective. I started doing it myself, and then that's where I actually went to school for, was in sound engineering and audio mastering. And then it was well, you need to keep up an image with social media, and that's where the photography and all the editing came in, and it just kept growing and growing and growing till now. I've kind of worked myself into a position of where I kind of do everything so that I don't have to rely on anybody. I can keep my costs low and I can just crank out projects with as much efficiency as I need to. Once COVID hit, I was a little worried because at that time, I still had a 9-to-5 job, and that was working in education. So I actually have not worked at that job since, I think, 2 weeks before last spring break. And then on top of that, all of my bigger gigs pretty much got canceled. So it was pretty much a loss of $3,000 or so. So my name is Jason Martin. You can find me on pretty much all platforms, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Facebook, on Twitter, working on TikTok. Pretty much anywhere, just type in Jason Martin, JSONMARTIN, for more information, music, details, all that good stuff.
I think with most people, it starts with the family, with music and stuff. My parents were really into music. They didn't necessarily play music. My dad built stereo systems and speakers and stuff, and there was always sound or music playing in the house. So I grew up listening to. My mom was really into pop. My dad was into funk and all that 70s stuff. One day I found a tape recorder with a microphone that my dad had when I was 4 years old. Started walking around recording everything. And that's pretty much what I've been doing since. Music producers are really important because of COVID, because all the work has to be done in, studios or in your home or whatever. You can't go out and see a show. So producing at home or in your own space is giving people things to watch, live streaming shows, new stuff to hear, because you can't go find new music at venues. For years, I kind of stopped making my own music. I was focusing on helping other people produce theirs, having nothing else to do. I still work, but other than that, you can't do a lot. So I got back into making music, and I started calling some of my friends that I know were into music, and we started working together again, and it's been really good. Yeah, I am on Instagram, and it's at recorded by Brad McGrath, but each word has a underscore between it.
So I've been playing music since I was a kid. I've got a music degree from College of Santa Fe in New Mexico. I don't know, I've just been playing, in various degrees, a bunch of instruments forever, and got into DJing in college for parties, and kind of never looked back. Do it professionally now and have been for 4 years. Especially at gigs, it's, it really changes the way that I set up and, the way that I engage with the crowd. I mean, I have to make announcements throughout the whole time, especially depending on the venue, it's, if you're up from a table, you have to have a mask on, or, if you're at a dance floor, you can only be with people of your household, or, and it's unfortunately up to me to make announcements about it, but it's not up to me to enforce it. So it's hard to, am I going to shut a party crushing song off and be like, hey guys, you need to spread out a little bit? It's I will if I'm told to by a venue, but it's in my nature to look up and see people are vibing and keep going. So it's hard. It's really, there has been a change, and I don't know, it's you really have to disinfect all the microphones and gaff tape off your booth, and it's tough. So I don't know, everyone has to, it's just trying to make people feel safe. And, it's even in those gigs that you don't really have too much control over. I mean, you do what you can. Yeah, I think online performances have been the silver lining of this entire ordeal. I want to call it an endeavor, but it's definitely been an ordeal. And I don't know, I think that this has really taken the hands out of people who are trying to exploit real musicians and put it back into the hands of actual talented people. And, it's kind of put them into the limelight, and it's really removed the ability for people to take advantage of true talent, and it's nice to see people shining that deserve it. That's really cool. I don't know, I'm proud of people that have taken this and run with it. So yeah. If you had told me a year ago that my entire industry would be shut down for months, I mean, at the beginning of this, I think I was one of those people that was thinking 2 weeks sounds like it's a little short, but maybe 3 or 4 weeks tops. It's proven to be everlasting. So it's one of those things we all have to adapt and try and figure it out. And I don't know, I think that there will be a time where all this will be back, and I think that we'll need music to heal from all that stuff. And I don't think it's safe to do that yet, though. So we have to be able to find ways to get through. And I don't know, it's tough right now. You can find me on Instagram at Snackerjax, SNACKERJAX. Facebook, Jack Truax, I think, yeah. But Instagram at Snackerjax. Yeah, you can find me.
During these trying times, the music industry will continue to experience highs and lows in different areas. Everyone remains in the unknown about how much of the future will play out, but it is important to stay hopeful and keep the music going.
Keep the music going. Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.
Keep the music going.